Okay, you guys, so today we're going to be doing a couple of T-bone steaks for me and my major. So we're going to start out. I do wash all my meat. If you watch my videos, you know that I wash my meat. I don't care what it is, I wash it. Some people agree with that, some people don't. I don't care. It's Awyannia's way. Okay, so I had a little paper towel under here just to drain the excess from me washing it. And so now what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna just kind of score my meat a little bit. You guys may have a different term, but this is what I use for. And then I just come back across and go like this. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other one. This is kind of, let's flip it around. Flip it around. Same thing. And this in scoring for me is making sure that the seasoning can seep into the meat, right? And I'm gonna do this on both sides. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with a little bit of olive oil on this side. You don't need a whole lot, just enough for me. For me, it's making the seasoning kind of set in somewhat. Okay, so we're just gonna go over it with that. Let me get a paper towel. And so on these steaks today, I'm gonna use Cajun's Choice blackening seasoning. Okay, I'm gonna use that one. We like a lot of flavor on our steaks, and y'all know I like a lot of flavor being from Louisiana. So we're gonna go ahead, hit that side, and then we're gonna go back with some Cajun steak seasoning. Y'all see that? I'll take a picture at the end so y'all can see. And then we're just gonna coat it with that also. Because when you start to cook your steak, a lot of the seasoning cooks off. So don't be scared to, be just a little heavy-handed. But when it comes to sea salt and stuff like that, you kind of have to be careful. And then we're gonna go with just some, I like prime cuts. This is good because it's more of a coarse seasoning. Let me let y'all see. It's very coarse. Perfect for steaks, right? I'm just gonna hit it with a little bit of that. Well, I need a little bit more than that, but I just want y'all to see. And then last but not least, we're gonna hit it with sea salt. And then we're gonna go to the other side. Not too much sea salt because we already have enough seasoning, right? So let's flip it over and do the same process on this side. Exact same thing. Just on the opposite side. So we're gonna get just a little bit more olive oil. You can score it first or olive oil. Honestly, I put too much on that one, so we're just gonna do that right there. So then you can spread it out. I use the olive oil just so my seasoning can kind of seep more through and stick more to my meat. Okay, so we're just gonna score it right quick. Same thing over here. I'm using a different angle. We'll just score it. It's not hard, y'all. Okay. And so there we go. Let me do this part just a little bit more. Okay. So now, again, same thing. It doesn't matter which order you do your seasonings. Just this is the coarse pepper. We can go first with that. It doesn't matter as long as you use all the same ingredients. If this is what you want. You can actually be as simple as you want and just use sea salt and cracked pepper. You don't have to use everything that I use. As long as you do enough of that sea salt, if you're just gonna go with sea salt and cracked pepper, you need to make sure you use enough sea salt or your steak is gonna be bland as hell. Like it's not gonna be, you're not gonna wanna eat that because it's just gonna be dry, like, and bland, no flavor. So we're just basically using all the same seasonings that we just used. Exact same thing. Just a little bit more sea salt on this side. Okay. I love the flavor. So now we're gonna do, I am going to put a little bit of I love using this on my steaks, lamb, Worcestershire. Look, y'all not gonna laugh at me because I cannot pronounce it, okay? But we're gonna just put just a little bit. Don't go crazy because you don't want all your seasoning to run off, because it'll start to slide out. But that's again why I like to score my steak. Like cut it where all the seasoning can kind of seep in, right? So we have that. And I'm gonna get something to put these in so they can marinate. Okay, so this right here is perfect. It's just a Tupperware tub, right? So we're just gonna put it in here. It doesn't really matter if they're on top of each other or not. It's just as long as they're sealed and they have time to marinate. And so do y'all see how that looked? So I'm basically gonna put just a little bit more Worcestershire sauce, whatever it's called, on top of this side. And let's let them do what it do. Let's let it marinate. Let me get the lid. So y'all see, it's covered, it's going in the refrigerator. I'm gonna let them marinate for probably about 30 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. Then we're gonna sear these babies up. Be back. Okay, you guys, let's go ahead and get these babies seared up. I'm just gonna do one right now. For Major. Turn on my broccoli. This is gonna be quick and easy, the broccoli. Okay, so the steaks have been marinating. Y'all remember from earlier, I let them set out because you want them to almost be kind of room temperature before you actually start to put them in the pan. So our pan is nice and hot. You don't want to go too heavy with your olive oil, because if y'all remember earlier, we already had olive oil on there. So you want to be able to sear nice. So we're just going to do one at a time because these are pretty big. And that's pretty much enough olive oil. I'll show you all. It's not that much. Just make sure you coat your pan pretty good. It's kind of popping because I had the skillet pretty hot. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and put in the biggest steak is for Major, because let me see, is that the biggest one? Yeah, I think that one will be his. Is it? I believe so. Anyway, he eats most of my food anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and drop it in here. Y'all hear how hot that is? It's popping, it's sizzling. So we're gonna get a good sear on both sides. Let me bring this closer. We're gonna get a good sear. It smells so good. You wanna have your stove up to almost on high because you want that steak to be nice and brown. Okay? And I'm just making sure the olive oil is underneath. That's all we're doing. And so we're just gonna sear this up, and then we're gonna pop it in the oven. Once it's nice and brown on both sides, we're gonna pop it in the oven because we eat our steaks medium, which means that temperature is gonna be pink throughout. Now, if you like well done or medium well, of course you're gonna have to cook yours just a little bit longer. But I don't like to eat well done steak. I don't like medium well steak. I like medium or a little bit more medium rare plus. And that's just my preference, but you all can, you can however you want your steak. So we're just gonna, this is why I say you don't need a lot of olive oil, because the T-bone does have some fat on there, right? So it's gonna render some more fat as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and we just gonna scoop up a little bit of this because that's some of the fat. I love flavor, and we're just gonna put a little bit of that on there and let it cook just a little bit longer. I don't think that it's not brown enough. No, not yet. We want it to be just a little bit more brown. It's not brown enough. So I'm gonna crank up the heat just a little bit more. I had it between 8 and 9, but now I have it on high because I want it to like sear like perfectly on both sides. Once that heat hits it how it's supposed to, then we can go ahead and pop it in the oven. Just let it. Check it again. It is pretty hot. That's pretty good, but I still want it just a little bit more. Just a little more. Okie dokie. That might be good because the heat. Okay, y'all see how that looks? You can sear it some more. I'm gonna sear the opposite side as well, and let that sear to pretty brown. Look at that. Just let it sear. Oh, this is good to do. Boy, that's making too much noise. Okay, so we're just gonna let this sear. Alright, just a couple more seconds. And then we're just going to pop it in the oven. Like I said, our temperature is going to be pink throughout. So I'm only going to put it in the oven for about 7 to 9 minutes. And that's it. I don't want it to cook any further because when you take the steak out the oven, it continues to cook. Because it's going to be in this hot skillet, right? So it's going to continue to cook. So you don't want to overcook it. Unless you want a well-done steak or a medium well steak, yes, then, you know, I mean, you can cook it longer. I don't want that. Because like I said, when it's resting, it's going to continue to cook. So, the temperature of everybody's steak is completely different, right? Now, let's look and see what this side looks like. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Look how good that looks. Okay. Perfect. I'm actually going to flip it over to the other side. I actually like how this one is better. So now what we're going to do, I have my oven on 450. We're going to go ahead and pop it in the oven for, like I said, 7 to 9 minutes. And then I'm going to take it out. I'm actually going to do 7 minutes because I don't want it to be overcooked. So we're going to pop it in here. Let it cook, and we'll be back. Okay, you guys, y'all hear that? The steak is out. The steak is out, and so what I do whenever I get my steak out, I'm gonna put just a little bit of butter. You don't have to do this. I love flavor, so I'm gonna put a little bit of butter on top. We're gonna let it rest for, I don't know, maybe about, you can do 4 minutes, 5 minutes. I'm not gonna do it today, but you can do that just where your butter melts and everything. I'm gonna add just a little bit of seasoning to the top. Just a little bit, okay? You don't have to do a lot. Again, this is Awyannia's way, but you'll learn just looking at all the steps I take you through, how you want to season your food. You have to practice. For all of y'all that's beginning cookers, like you have to practice, right? You gotta learn somewhere, and so that's why I started my channel for people that need to learn or just even want to know how to cook certain foods that they don't know how to cook. Okay, so we're gonna let that rest for maybe about 1 more minute. It's gonna be super good. And y'all remember this. So this handle is metal, so it just